What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your buzzing cousin GhostBoogie. It is B-Boys Underground, and tonight we have a very, very special show for you because we have the one and only makers of the B-Boys or the Scribble Jam documentary that's coming out soon, and we're going to get into that. But first, what we're going to do is show you the video, the trailer of the documentary. So sit back, relax, and check this out, y'all.
I am Mr. Dibs, but generally just audio destruction is what I do. There's a lot of names for it, but I'll go with that.
I'm Fat Nick from Cincinnati, owner of Scribble Jam. Got dubbed it the largest hip-hop festival in America because there's no such thing. There's never been a Scribble Jam other than Scribble Jam.
You know, it was pretty successful for a couple of kids just doing a magazine.
Scribble Jam. Testosterone, posturing, and bullshit.
The test zone from 16,000 CPS down to 8,000 CPS.
Really even sure where the word jam came in.
Hey, bro, you want to jam? You want to fucking jam out, bro? Hey, man, you guys want to fucking jam? That's what it makes me think of. I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Woo! Hey, look, welcome to B-Boys Underground. Salute everyone. We got Tyler, we got Jacob. Of course, we got G-Dash Fresh back. What's goody in my man?
What's going on, everybody?
MaddWayz.
How's it going?
Good, man.
Hello,
good.
Boogie.
Salute, y'all. Salute. And happy Wednesday. Happy B-Boys Underground Wednesday, as we call it around here, man.
Shout out to the crew, everybody. G Fresh back. A little bootleg on my phone today, but we'll get that taken care of. Happy to see y'all.
Yeah, we making it happen, man. We getting it done, man. So I'm really excited to get into this because, you know, I always tell people about, you know, the Scribble Jam, and some people that are hip hop heads don't know what it is, and you can tell like, oh, I know what that is, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, I know you know your history, but some folks don't, and they don't believe sometimes some of just all of the artists that came through there and just everything that happened and how the event was, and from someone who was around and involved in the first couple, and then it's went way past nuclear after I was stopped coming around, but like it was always something that was just a big, huge movement, and can't wait to talk about this and get into it. So, who wants to go first on the proof of concept video and explain like just kind of what we are seeing and what the plan for this is?
I can go ahead and talk on it. Yeah. And thanks for having us on, by the way. It's a privilege.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that proof of concept we made a few years ago, actually. And that was when we were like first just starting to get into this. And we had a couple of interviews. Since then, we have like 20 plus interviews with a bunch of different people. So way more content now. We've gone to a bunch of different events and filmed. So, you know, that's a kind of just a trailer to get everyone hyped up for it and just get a little tease of what's to come. But we want to get an official trailer out here pretty soon too, and we got a lot more in store than just that. Yeah, but I hope you guys like it though. Yeah.
Oh, I loved it, and of course that's Dibs being Dibs, man. You gotta love Dibs.
Yeah.
Jail.
That's just one little bit from the interview. He's got a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Did he squeeze the chicken at you at all? or did he have the chicken in the
I,
interview?
No.
I don't remember
I don't
that.
Fresh
think
knows what I'm
so.
talking about. 'Cause
Yeah.
him and his chicken, he squeezes. Anyway, man. So, what was the thing that got you guys started and even wanting to do this? Like, what was the reasoning? What was your why in regards to made you even want to pick up this project and go?
Yeah. So
Tyler, do you want to start with that one?
yeah, sure. So me and Jake had both been doing film stuff for like ever since high school together. And we like documentary stuff and that sort of thing. But it wasn't until I went to UC for media production for film.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
I was in, and I was in a class, and one of my professors, Aaron Almashi was his name, he randomly brought up Scribble Jam, and I actually hadn't heard of it until then because I'm on the younger side. I never got to go to a Scribble Jam or anything. And I'm local too. I'm from here, so I was, I'm surprised I hadn't heard of it. But yeah, so he said something about it, about how it was this hip hop event in Cincinnati, and something just kind of like sparked in my brain. I was like, it sounds pretty cool. Like I want to learn more about that. And I thought it would be a good idea for like a documentary. So I did some more research on it. I reached out to Dibs through his website online because I didn't have any connections. And then I got hooked up with him, and we just got to talking, and it was basically like, like if you want to do this, it's got to be the right way, and you got to like really dive into the culture and tell the story the right way. So
Well, you had a phone call with a Laura first, right?
yeah, with his wife Laura. Yeah. Yeah, and she basically just said like, the first, before you even start filming anything, you just got to learn. So we spent like the first maybe 6 months, the multiple months, just learning more and more about the culture and about the whole story of Scribble Jam and how it all came to be.
Yeah, me and Tyler spent many nights in my room just going through Spotify, adding artists to a playlist, and then going to their Wikipedia page and learning about, okay, this dude's part of this group, and this is connected through Scribble Jam through here, and just like diving headfirst into the world that is underground hip hop.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
And since then, I think that, the fact that I hadn't heard of it is kind of the reason that I'm so passionate about doing it now. Cause it's like, how have I not heard of it? Like it was this big thing, but for some reason, it, being in Cincinnati and a smaller, like Midwestern city, it never got like the true attention that I feel like it deserves. So,
I mean, at one point it was getting tens of thousands of people at the very peak of it. I mean,
yeah,
it's
when
crazy.
it got big.
Yeah, it got really, really big, and it was something that's cool, and salute to you for picking it up, and I want to say, Jacob, thank you for your service as well.
Thank
I
you.
see that you also served, and I appreciate that. You were also a UC student, so you guys got into film. What is it that you guys do in your daily jobs, like your 9 to 5s that you guys do?
You want to go, Jake?
If you want to
Yeah,
talk
sure.
about it.
So me and Tyler, we work at the same place. We work out of this place called the Warehouse, which it's this. The easiest way to explain it is this freelance collaborative of creatives. So there are filmmakers, audio engineers, there are graphic designers, and we all kind of live in this studio space. And basically, when someone finds a project, they'll put out into a group chat that we have, like, hey, this is the budget for this group for this project, and we need X, Y, and Z. Who's down to do it? And it's kind of first come, first serve, and we all kind of help each other. And it's not like it's a weird job because it's more of a community. You know what I mean?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've been doing that for about a year. Before that, I just had a couple part-time jobs, nothing serious.
Right.
But
No, that sounds dope, man. That sounds like a dope situation that you have. Is that over there, like right around Ivorydale?
It's like right by like the Children's Museum, like Union Terminal. So
Got
it's
you.
yeah.
I know exactly where you are. It's right there with the overpasses
On
and all
Dalton
that.
Avenue.
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
actually I think I sold some at one time some Time Warner Cable internet circuits in there before you guys some business class circuits.
Yeah, there used to be a wombat exhibit there, I believe.
Yeah.
Is the wombat still there?
Wombat
No.
exhibit.
I haven't seen it, but I don't know.
Oh, well, that might
Actually,
be
I'm here right
warehouse.
now. That's where
That might be pre-warehouse.
Go check out and see if there's some wombats. Let's go through this.
Oh, yeah. We'll do some searching. There might still
Let's
be
not
some.
talk about Scribble Jam. Let's go find
Yeah.
these missing wombats. Now,
Hey, they
all right,
like
so-
hip hop too.
Hell yeah, they do. So, like, we always ask a question, and what I want to know is, gentlemen, tell us, the first memory that you have associated with hip hop, and why was it important, and what led you here to today? Who wants to? Tyler, I'm gonna kick it to you first since
Okay.
you've been going first.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as I talked a little bit earlier, but I wouldn't have considered myself a hip hop head, honestly, before doing this. My association with hip hop was rap music, which I think is what a lot of people think when they hear it. And when I started this, it was like learning every other aspect to it. And so really my first memories with like hip hop, I associate with this documentary, which I think was really cool. So we've gotten to like one of my first, we went to the Atmosphere show at Bogart's in Cincinnati, a little bit of taking pictures there and stuff. And I was like, this is cool, And then we've gone to we went to the Chicago Tribe, breaking event, seeing that in person and just how skilled they were and just filming for that. We've gotten to watch Dibs scratch on stage with Ventura for with Atmosphere too for a show. Watch the Animal Crackers get together and scratch together in unison with these. I mean, it's just crazy. And I've personally just fallen in love with the whole culture of it through doing this. So, yeah.
Incredible.
What about you, Jacob?
Yeah, so I remember in middle school I didn't really understand rap. I didn't get it. And then one day I decided to go into it, and I went on the top charts, and the song that was hot at the time, and I just picked one and started listening to it, and it was Immortal by J. Cole when that was a popular song, and I listened to it, and I got into the lyrics, and I started understanding that, oh, this is poetry. This is poetry. I understand it now. And so then I started getting into the rap music side of things. But like Tyler said, I did not understand graffiti was a part of hip hop. I didn't understand b-boying was a part of hip hop. I didn't understand DJing. I didn't understand they all connected like that. And then so really through making this documentary, Tyler and I have been blessed with the greatest hip hop crash course that anyone could ever get. Just talking to all the experts and just getting an insane amount of information that you can't find on the internet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great way.
And now you guys live and breathe hip hop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Every day. Every day.
Literally every day. Yeah.
At least until you finish the film, right? We hope that you continue.
Well,
oh no, I'm in it now.
Yeah, we
all right.
We
hip hop junkies now.
We both fallen in love with it.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be for the film.
All right. So then I got to ask you, what are you guys currently what's one of the things that you guys are listening to right now that you're really, really messing with? Can be old. Can be
well, I'm listening to, so making the film, actually, there are two records back here, but those are both records that we've got songs from in the film. So 120 from E&A, I've been liking a lot. And that plays a part in the film. We have a little montage to that. We have Deep Fried Friends from Food up there, and that actually opens the film up. So those two I've listened to a lot. I've done a lot of in my head, thinking about cutting to those beats and that sort of thing. And I love both of those. I mean, that's just two songs. I mean, I could go on, but
yeah. With with editing it, I've been basically the only stuff I've been listening to on repeat has just been the songs that we have in the film, just getting ideas over and over again. I have dove into albums that they're from and stuff like that. But recently just, our playlist that we have. I think it's on Spotify actually. I think we have a Spotify playlist. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would it be under? What would if the people, is it a public playlist that people can look
The one for the
at?
documentary? Yeah, it should be, I think.
I think so. I'm looking it up right now. I think it's just Scribble Jam documentary.
If you post the link in the private chat, I'll throw it out to everybody.
Okay.
They can check it out, so you guys can get a sneak peek of some of the
Here we go.
the audio from
Musical landscape.
Yeah, man. It'll kind of give everybody an idea of what the deal is, right?
Should be public, I think, right?
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Okay.
Cool. So everybody in the chat right now, that's the link directly to the Spotify playlist that you can check it out. So for the folks that's watching this on YouTube on the replay, click over to the live, like in the comments, you can swipe left or right, whichever way that is, and it'll say live comments, and right now you'll see those links magically appear, and you've got it now. It's locked in.
There it is.
Yeah, man. So what was who was the first person, like you said you reached out to Dibs as the first person that you approached to start doing the documentary? Or was there it was Dibs?
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
his reception like?
Well,
So
you can go. Yeah. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so it actually wasn't. We didn't initially talk to Dibs right out the
Okay.
gate. We talked to Tyler. Put something on. I think we were in my bedroom when we did this. We were just on like my computer, and we put. We went to his website and put something in the like contact me block at the end of his website, and just like kind of a Hail Mary threw it out there. And his wife actually emailed us back, and then Tyler had the phone call with them. With her, and then basically we kind of like got tested. She invited us to a dinner with her and Dibs, where I guess he just kind of got a read on me and Tyler just to see if we were the right people for the job.
Right.
You know, because obviously we want to respect that. This is not ours. We are just merely documenting this thing that happened. We're not taking ownership of it. Right. And then what else happened? What else?
I mean, yeah. So it was Dibs first, and they basically they started us. The first interview that we did for the documentary was Dana and Dot Brunson. So Jason Brunson's parents, one of the three founders of Scribble, and they were like, like if you really are about it, you got to start like at the roots of all of this. So it started with Scribble magazine back in the back of their tattoo shop. So it was like, we went there and interviewed them. We talked about the magazine, and then we actually drove to Kansas City for our second.
Yeah, that's
effort.
Right.
When we had like no connection, still we interviewed Scribe, the graffiti artist out of there, because he
Yeah.
was like best friends with Jason.
Yeah.
So we started in kind of that area, a lot of graffiti stuff. Yeah. And it kind of just kept expanding from there. I mean, we interviewed Dibs after that, I think, and then
Yeah,
Nick,
that was the next
obviously,
one.
and yeah. Since then, we've gone to Chicago and done interviews, LA. Where all we gone?
San Diego.
Atlanta. Yeah, San Diego for Cross One. Just so many different people. It's kind of just branched out like a web since then.
One of the questions that I wanted to ask you was, what did you find the most interesting about how, this graffiti magazine actually, launched and sparked a movement as big as this? I mean, what was the interesting thing that you learned about how that all progressed?
I think for me, it's just like the fact that they never planned any of it. It was kind of just like it was a butterfly effect of. They had the passion for it, so that's what mattered. But like from the start, it was just this graffiti magazine, and Dibs came up. He was like, I want a record cover, and maybe we can do this little thing at Annie's, and it just, they had the passion for it, and it kept getting bigger and bigger, and then turned into Scribble Jam. So it just all kind of worked out with the right people, the right time, the right place. So yeah, I think it's pretty crazy. What about you, Jay?
Well,
it was just like
I showed up at the Monday because I was like, we can do something with this. But Dibs inviting y'all to dinner. I'm surprised you got in touch with him through the website. He's probably testing y'all to make sure it wasn't a crank. Because we had the propensity of doing cranks on each other. So let me invite him to dinner and see if this is real. So that's probably what that was.
He was definitely scoping us out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done some cranks on each other that have, try to one up each other, but we've gotten each other with some celebrities that we thought we were talking to, and they were actually each other.
Yeah.
I saw when it comes to crank calls, the best crank call that ever happened, in my opinion, out of any of y'all that did anything was when y'all pranked Love Line with Ice-T and had him get to say 1,200 hobos.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the most epic thing. Jacob and Tyler, does that come up in the film, or you guys know about this?
That's not in the film. No, I know there was always some prank calls, but yeah, I haven't heard that specific.
So
one.
you haven't heard the story, man? Like, so so Love Line, everybody knows Love Line with Dr. Drew was definitely a big thing on MTV or I can't remember if it was on MTV or VH1, one of those back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, and they would take live phone calls, and they would have like celebrity panelists and everything like that, and it was talking about sex, right? And Dib's wife at the time called in and basically had made a comment, and I'm going to paraphrase this because I know I can't get it correctly, but called in. They're like, your love line. She's like, yeah, I've got a problem with my husband. He doesn't like the way I smell. You know what I mean? It's really giving me some problems, some distress, and he says it smells like 1,200 hobos down there. And all of a sudden, as soon as she said that, Ice-T immediately said, 1,200 what? And just shut it down, and then
they said, and they said hobos, and it was the whole job because this went on. I think his second tape was taking out his second mixtape. It was to get them to say 1,200 hobos, and then the one guy said, "Well, I'd had a problem when it started smelling like 600 hobos." He said, "You let it get to 1,200."
That's awesome.
I forgot.
So we would do these cranks because with the radio show, with the record pool and street promotions, and then Scribble Jam and doing shows, people were calling us. So we was always like, you call us, and we might answer minus that seven helpline, and start recording it. We never know what we was going to get from people saying stuff. But that was cream of the crop there to get it on MTV and on that Love Lines.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which was dope for the mixtape. You know what I mean? And that was the Galapagos mixtape, or what was it? What was the name of the mixtape? The second one. What was it called? Galapagos.
It wasn't Evolution. It was.
It had Galapagos on it, like that. It was his theme.
It was the second one.
Yeah, it was the second one. But salute to Dibs, crazy motherfucker.
Shout out Dibs.
Yeah, man. What was the one thing that you guys found that, like, as you were talking and you were talking to people around, was there anything that you did research on? And when speaking to the people that were there, that actually you were able to get corrected on, or like found to be, like, oh, I didn't realize that, or the research out here said anything that was contradicting statements or narratives about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I think there's just like a general theme, and you'll pick up on this throughout the documentary, that a lot of people just have a hard time remembering this event at all because it was so chaotic. So we have, I believe it's 24 interviews, 25. Is that right? Yeah. And a lot of them, like, none of them seriously contradict each other, but you'll find someone will say this date, and then someone will say this date, and the DVD will be a completely different date than both of what people said. And it's just, I think it just speaks to how actually chaotic the festival was and how just true to hip hop it was.
And some people were high.
Yeah.
Very hot.
What do you mean? Who you talking about, Fresh?
Well, I wasn't smoking there. I knew each and every last person that was high.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite
that was part of the vid, though.
one of my favorite moments that we have in the film, we have Dibs and Nick kind of contradicting themselves, each other, not themselves, but they're contradicting each other. With Nick kind of like, oh, it went perfectly smooth every year, and Dibs was like, well, there's a lot of fights and stuff, though, and it's a good moment in the film that people will see. But yeah, there's definitely some contradictions in there that are pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty much a fight every year. Fight, a threat of a fight, fizzled out fight. It was all of that going on.
You know, I saw the most fighting amongst the B-boys when I was there. It was the B-boys crew that I remember having the most tussles, like the first couple of years, right? Because the MCs battle. The first year did get kind of personal. that did get kind of personal. Yeah, I mean, overall though, the thing that was always I thought dope about the community and everything is that just everybody, it was so multicultural, and everybody for the most part knew to show up, be respectful, and be there for the one thing that it is, hip hop, and don't fuck this up, because it was something so special. The venue that opened up, I mean, when Annie's opened up the venue, and I remember the first time just driving to it, because Fresh was like, yo, this is what's going on, it's going to be here, and you know what I mean, and I need you to pull through, and I was like, I got you, and I'm going to pull through, and I pulled through, and I got there, like, I was like, what time are you getting there? He was like, well, I'm going to be there before, I was like, I'll be there then. And then seeing all the artists along those big stone walls that was all around the perimeter, man, and it was just all of these fucking dope murals and going up, and then seeing all of the turntable set up and having all of that going, and you got the MC battle, you got the B-boy battles, and it was just all about the elements of hip-hop, and it was on some real hip-hop shit for the love of hip-hop.
And to say this, watching a mural go up, if you have not, and so you start from them getting there at crack of dawn till maybe finishing late evening, and you're seeing like you have no clue what it's about to be. You start seeing the pieces come together, and that's, it's part of hip hop. Is like a producer constructing a song, an MC writing lyrics, a DJ put his set together. The same way it was with the graffiti, watching them layer their pieces, pick out their different nozzles and spray cans. It was pretty slick to see it from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of my favorite, I think, moments from all of our interviews that we've done for sure was when we interviewed Kevin Beecham, one of the organizers of Scribble. For anyone who, if there's anyone out there who doesn't know Kevin, he lives and breathes hip hop, right? So like this guy's been around a lot of stuff, and he told us in our interview, he ended up there on a whim, and he saw what was going down. It was the very first Scribble, '96. And he was like, I saw this big wall with guys painting. Right in front of that, there's Dibs and DJ Skip like scratching on turntables. In front of them, there's people breaking. In front of them, there's people battling each other. And he was like, I've never seen all of this happening at once, all in one place in my life. Coming from him. In Cincinnati, especially, yeah.
On a Monday. It was a fucking Monday. It wasn't a weekend. It was a Monday.
It was a cold, rainy Monday, right?
Yes.
It was like it was on a Monday. I didn't go to work that day.
Yeah.
I called in sick to work.
Yeah, I remember Kevin was telling that story, and we're doing our jobs on set. So someone's watching the camera, someone's asking the questions. So I'm usually off taking notes. And when Kevin started telling that story, we all just kind of stopped doing our jobs and just just locked onto Kevin and just listened to that story. We were like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is perfect. This is exactly what people need to hear. Like, this is what Scribble Jam is.
Absolutely. Fresh, what was, as being there and being someone that was very instrumental in key and helped setting it up, and we just lost Fresh, so never mind. Guess what, y'all? This is in the spirit of B-Boys Underground. When we started in 95, 96, started with Dibs and Fresh, and man, we're live. So guess what? We keep this live, and things like this happen. Technical difficulties happen, so don't trip. Don't trip. We're doing it live. We're not like your normal podcast where we're just gonna edit it and make it look all pretty and nice. No, we're rough, rugged, and raw. These guys are the ones that make it all pretty and edit it nice. This is real hip hop shit. We're just doing it, So I got a question for you. Who was the most difficult person for you guys to get a hold of? You know what I'm saying? Like, in regards to interviewing, like, was there someone that was kind of hard to pin down, or is it a person still that you're trying to pin down and put on blast and say, hey, you need to go ahead and you need to do the interview and be a part of this?
Well, there's one that I'm thinking of, and I can tell by Tyler's face he's thinking of the same one.
And then does his name is it known to also be something that gets put on Halloween baskets too?
Am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a favorite
no
candy
comment,
of
but
one of my child's, and that guy.
Yeah.
Well, he was tagged on the Instagram post. So guess what? I'm gonna call you out, Mr. Eminem, Mr. Marshall Mathers. Yes, you of all people, right now of all people. Guess what? It's now more than ever important that you, Mr. Shady, pull up and interview and put your 2 cents in on this documentary, because you are very much an important part of this history, and it would be absolutely a shame, because you are very much a very important part of hip-hop history as well, for you to miss out on the opportunity to be a part of something that was still a great accomplishment and a memory for you, even because you talk about it all the time. So, man, come on, get down with us. We would love to have you, man. Please.
Yeah.
And we're talking to you.
Yeah, it'd be great. We have the other three from that 97 Final Four right now. So we got Rhyme Fest, Juice, and Dose One all on the dock. So, yeah, I mean.
We also have Wendy Day. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it'd be cool. Yeah, and I think he could definitely contribute to the story for sure. So, yeah.
And you guys are easy to work with. You'll even show up and show up where, if he needs you to pull up on him, y'all pull up on him.
I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there.
There it is.
In an hour. If he needs us to.
You got that Star Trek technology? If you do, man, can I holler at you?
Yeah.
I need to get my family. Nah, man, that's dope, man. Like, was there anyone that was who would you say was the funniest person that you all had a chance to interview during the filming of this? So
I know my answer. I don't.
It's got to be Dibs, right?
Oh yeah,
it has to be. He's so funny.
Yeah,
I
was gonna say Rhyme Fest, because Rhyme Fest was freestyling a bunch throughout his.
Yeah, that was a good interview.
Yeah, but that one was funny. Dibs's was just everything.
It's insane.
Awesome,
I don't know how he thinks of that stuff. Like, I've watched his entire uncut interview like 3 or 4 times, like just for fun, not even while editing. Like, it's really funny. I'm really excited for people to see it.
Fresh has got some funny moments in there too.
He does, yeah. Everyone's pretty charismatic and good in front of the camera. There was no one that was like shy or not good in front of the camera. Everyone like was funny, and I feel like themselves in front of the camera, which I think is awesome.
Oh yeah, that's dope, man. What would you say in regards to, what did you think what was something that you didn't know about Cincinnati and the hip hop scene that you learned, like, that you wouldn't have found. I know you guys found hip hop through this, and this was like your entry into hip hop. And given the fact that not ever really being exposed to the music and the culture. I mean, everybody had been exposed to the music. There was no way that you couldn't have not been exposed to the music, some shape, form, or fashion. But once you started to actually get into the culture of it, what was the one of the biggest takeaways that you guys have personally had by putting all of the time that you've already put into this, right? How is just making this film changed your guys' perspective, and did it change your life in any way?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the key messages in the film, I think, is one of the things that we've learned, and it's like kind of the core aspect of hip hop is just doing things just for the sake of doing them, like things that you care about, not for trying to get money out of it or trying to get something out of it, just because you love it. So that for me has been like kind of the biggest thing that I've taken away. Like me and Jake and the rest of the crew, we're not making any money at all out of it.
None. We're losing money, in fact.
We're
Yeah.
losing money. But it's like, it's just such an awesome experience, like just diving into this culture and meeting all these people and just like telling the story the way it should be told. So I think that's my biggest takeaway. And something I'm going to take with me, just do things with a passion and for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like one of my favorite things in the film is towards the end, we have a clip from our interview with Slug from Atmosphere. And he looks at the camera and he says, "You can do it too." And like, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite lines in the whole film, is that like, these were just friends doing stuff. And it turned into this crazy thing. Like anybody can do this. Anybody. And I think it kind of speaks to the way Tyler and I started this documentary in the first place. Like we just did it. We just did it. Anyone can just do it.
That's real. I mean, that's kind of like how this started, back up when I reached out to Fresh and, I'm a cancer survivor. I battled kidney cancer in 2020 and COVID and long haul COVID. And, my brother MaddWayz over here, we both almost died. You know what I mean? Like he was in a coma and I clinically died. I've died twice. And this brother's been in a coma. He had to learn how to walk and everything again. And he's an MC, and I'm speaking for him. He's right here, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's one of those things that if there's a will, there's a way, and anybody can do it. And if it is something that you love, do it regardless of it, man. Like if there's something out there that you have a passion to do, you have to start taking the steps towards it, or you're never even gonna, like, you have to think, okay, today I am this person, and how does this person move and interact going forward? Okay, I'm gonna start taking those steps and get there. And you put your 10,000 hours in, and you continue to work on it because it's a labor of love, and you never fully master it until, you know what I mean? So yeah, salute. Fresh, we got you back, fam. You there? Microphone check.
Yeah, I gotta. Phone start getting hot.
Too hot in the hot tub?
No, the phone got hot. So I had to, ice pack. Actually, it's some mixed fruit.
Well, whatever works, bro. Whatever works, man. Fresh, like, so what I was getting ready to pitch over to you was, man, like, from your side of the story and in your side of it, how it all came together, right? Like, tell everyone, kind of without ruining your interview, right? But kind of from your perspective, how the Scribble Jam came together, and as you saw it come together, and all of the work that was put in behind the scenes, just to get it off and going.
It was a monster. I mean, we had the idea of first get it off the fucking Monday, because people had to take off work, me included. I had to work on Monday, so it was all taken off to do the event. And I said, who's going to be able to come down here to Cincinnati on a Monday? Wouldn't Friday be more opportune? So being that I'd done some events in college when my fraternity was president of that, and helped organize some events, that just came into play on getting some things in motion, seeing who could do what specifics to help the event grow. Like, who's going to need turntables? Who's going to need a venue? We learned as we grew about doing that type of business because, insurance and liability. And I learned some of that from fraternity as well about, risk management and stuff like that. So, but, every year was a new adventure as we tried to expand and grow it. More money, more problems, more people, more problems.
Logistics.
Catering. Yeah, logistics and video, just making sure we had all the T's crossed and I's dotted. And we always made an admirable effort. Something always went wrong, but we always salvaged the event. The event always went off, and then we sit and powwow and see what we can do better for next year, And I think that was just pretty much a hip hop as it's, as it is, taking something from nothing and, making it something.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great adventure, a great ride, a great time, great camaraderie, and networking and memories. Definitely great artistry. Some very talented people came through the ranks of Scribble Jam.
Gotcha. Have you guys gotten your hands on any of cool artifacts or anything from them that you'd like to share and talk about? Like, what's some of the items that you found that was like, wow, this is dope?
We've gotten tickets, like old Scribble tickets from Tony Heights. That was cool. A lot of it, just a lot of the original footage, like the mini DV tapes, we're just from like shoe boxes in Nick's basement and going through like all that. And from Black Sheep, he's got so much stuff. Yeah. That's been really cool pamphlets. Yeah. That's been really cool to see some of the stuff that might have gotten cut out of the DVDs, but still exists somewhere on these tapes. So that's been probably the coolest part for me in that aspect.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And we just have these hard drives with just pictures and pictures and pictures. And I love just going through the pictures and just seeing how, I mean this in the least offensive way possible, how unorganized it is. And it just makes it feel like, oh, wow, they really were just doing it. It's cool. It's really cool to look at and see how it went down and how it all played out. And you can see their thought process going through these hard drives. It's really cool.
Yeah, even early on, we didn't even have a literal photographer. There's a couple of people hey, I'll take some pictures. And then we start realizing we need to really be documenting this. We was barely getting some footage. We need to improve the footage we was getting, the pictures, and just catching everything because it's we on to something here.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think you say the unorganized aspect, but I think you can see too in that hard drive. You can see it every year, learning from different things and getting more organized. You know what I mean? And you can see that visible progression of how it's going from just this,
how it starts becoming to a thing, to an actual event. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, someone mentioned in the chat the heat wave, the 100 degree. No way in the world we were prepared for that. That caught us, it could have been a hurricane or something. Just to watch the records melt on the turntables we wasn't ready for that.
We got that footage of you holding up the big tarp over the turntable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Me and the other tallest guy, DJ Tree, arms and hurting. We was the tallest one, so we had to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't get that turntable wet, man. We're gonna electrocute it, fam.
We put blankets on there, ice on there. We was doing all kind of stuff. And that only gave us, another 10, 15 minutes and the record started melting again. It was a bad day.
I just thought of something too, kind of when you were saying the old memorabilia things. One of your moments, Fresh, in your interview, when you hold up the old sign from Scribble, where it's like, no whining about the DJ, you can't have pre-written
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Sign. You hold it up and talk about it in the interview, and
we
then
added to that.
sign from '98. So
Yeah.
you got it still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Let's go over that. Fresh, if you could read that shit right now, please.
Hold on, let me
That'd
see
be
if I can grab
amazing.
that real quick.
Man, that's a memory right there. I don't.
Yeah, finding that footage was awesome. Just like
Yeah.
to see it, we're like, oh
So
my
that's
gosh,
gonna
that's
be
the
in the doc?
sign.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, right there.
Man. Hold on, I'm gonna go solo on you. Give me 1 second, Fresh. Hold on, there you go, man. There it is.
Mhm.
Look at that.
Those were posted up everywhere. You said, right?
Yep.
Yes. So hey, and when somebody messed up, we point to the sign. So we got to tell him, you can read it.
I
Yeah.
remember all
If
the
you're in a battle and
graffiti.
you can't read, that's a problem.
And one of the things that I always thought was funny too, but not funny, but it was like, damn, we really got to do this. But all of the signs on, toys, no tags, signs all over everything that no one could put any spray paint on. Like, do not spray paint this. Do not spray paint this. Spray paint over here. The one thing, you gentlemen are both from Cincinnati, right? So, like, what does this story say about our city? Because I still consider myself a Cincinnatian, even though I moved out to Denver. But, like, what do you think that this story says about our city's place in hip hop history?
Do you want to take that one, Tyler?
Yeah. I mean, I think just that, like, no one would have expected this event to happen here. I don't think. Like, I think to happen in Cincinnati, because it's not known for like this. Like, it obviously has deep hip hop history, but it's not known worldwide. It's known here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that was one of the things, like the fact that they were able to spread this. Like Kevin showed up in '97, and he was able to. He had the time travel radio. He was able to bring or showed up in '96. Sorry, and he was able to bring Chicago from his time travel radio in '97. And that brought Chicago, and the Midwest starts connecting. And then eventually people are coming from everywhere. People are coming from LA. You have Freestyle Fellowship show up, and you have all this different stuff happen. And it's like, this isn't just some little party in Cincinnati. This is like a hub for hip hop worldwide. So I think it's just that, like, you can do it, like,
yeah, hip hop can happen anywhere. Kevin says that in the documentary.
Yeah,
hip hop can happen anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Give it that structure. I remember 3 busloads coming from New York, and I just started getting like, wow, this thing is going legs. And when somebody came up speaking French to me, I was like, I said, I took 2 years of French. I don't know exactly what she said, but it was something about thank you for having this event. I'm like, damn, we getting international here. And we had Canada coming.
Justice, right, from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a great battle.
Yeah, people just from everywhere. I mean, it got huge, and it's inspiring to me, being from Cincinnati, like that you can really like make worldwide noise just by doing it the right way. So,
and make waves that are like still being felt today. You know what I mean? Like stuff that happened in Scribble Jam, like it is affecting current hip hop today. It's like it made serious waves and serious motion.
And a weird thing, I didn't have a website before all this started, and I was thinking of names to call it. I called it orbitalhiphop.com. And it's kind of like worldwide hip hop. And that's kind of that event was, because it was, multicultural, multinational, multi-ethnicity. And I said, well, it's called an orbital, go around the globe. And then eventually we started getting that with, people coming from different parts of the world to participate. So that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. That's dope. So, what Fresh, I want to even ask you because as you were, involved in kind of helping trying to find the different venues, correct?
Yeah,
So, it started out at Annie's, right?
correct.
And it was at Annie's from 90, 96 through how long? What was the last year at Annie's?
But we
'Cause-
did all of 96 there. We did 97 there.
right,
We did 98 partially there.
right.
Then, because there was some issues, I wasn't talking to the owners, and a Tommy Boy lanyard snafu where the whole crowd got in because they had on a Tommy Boy lanyard and they were supposed to be in charge. So that caused some issues. 98, we did some of the events at Ripley's. We did the day part at Annie's. And 99 was the big Dayton, the almost just epic event that didn't happen and almost killed Scribble Jam, almost burnt it to the ground, but we survived, and at the last minute got it at the Ritz, and we did it at the Ritz for those next couple of years. Then it went back to Annie's after that.
Yeah. And
That was perseverance trying to get because talking about venue owners, they didn't know what this was. They were shocked by it. Ritz was more of an urban club, and they actually did not give us the whole venue for the first time. So you got people coming in.
down half.
They coming in suits and dressed to the T's, and then they see all these backpackers and chains, and they wanted to come on this side. They seeing people spinning on their heads. They seeing MCs and DJs doing their thing. They say, "Well, we want to go on this side. We want to see this." They say, "We ain't seen this in years." So it was interesting how that response came about.
And that was a day of transition, wasn't it? Like you were going to do it in Dayton, and then you had to come up with something on the fly.
We got last minute because we had nothing. Saturday was dead until I think it was like 1:00 in the morning that we got to set up to do it at the Ritz. So he pretty much, Drew had his regular schedule, and he said, "Well, I'm gonna give you the big side. We still gonna do our thing on the grown adult urban night on the other side." They kept coming in, and they wanted to come on the hip hop side. It
But
was
shout
real
out to
interesting.
Drew to give over. I mean, you were guaranteeing a crowd, so Drew was being a businessman that he is. Definitely, you were like, "Look, bro, I'm bringing people, so you don't have to worry about the bar. It's gonna get. You're gonna sell some liquor." But that was that dope for him to give that side over and keep it alive, man.
Yeah, every owner, that helped participate, make the event go good, especially anybody gave, because we actually got walls at the Ritz. Had to negotiate that. Of course, Annie's had the walls, to make sure that the event was complete with graffiti. We needed those. We needed somewhere for them to do their thing. Now, 98, mind you, they did a bunch of graffiti up there. I don't know if you guys saw some of the footage of that. 99. There was some incredible pieces up there, but then it was pieces from Dayton to Cincinnati for everybody that didn't get a wall and wanted to show that they came to Scribble Jam somehow, some way. So it was a lot of graffiti on I-75 coming from Dayton back to Cincinnati.
Yeah, we got a little section about that in the film too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Graffiti everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That was. I remember, it started making the news, and it was making the news for the wrong reasons a couple years because of, downtown getting stickered up.
Get a little hit. But, again, this was pretty much going under the powers to be of Cincinnati. It was pretty much under their nose. This was not like, like Freaknik in Atlanta or something like that. They didn't know what was going on. We were doing this pretty much getting our permits in the quiet, and, just, crossing our T's, dotting our I's without a lot of fanfare. And then all of a sudden, all these people come in out of nowhere, hotels getting filled up and stuff like that, So it's pretty slick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely helped the economy in Cincinnati during that weekend, for real.
Hmm.
Mhm.
With the
Yeah.
with the hotels and everything like that.
Did y'all touch base with any of Louisville? Because I know we had a
We have
decent.
not.
Uh, we did we went to the $2 graffiti event in Louisville and we filmed
Mhm.
there. Uh, and that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. hmm Got a bunch of cool like footage and pieces up there and filmed like DV and Win and like Mike Giant painting together. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stevie, my cat.
Hmm.
hmm Yeah.
Say,
That was one- Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say that was one of my favorite events that we got to go to, but that was just one of like that's one of the coolest things. There's lots of interviews, but the events is just a whole
Yeah.
nother, like when we went to Ventura when we were on stage with Dibs.
That
and
was
everything,
insane.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just so many moments like that where it's just like you reflect on it and you just
Hmm.
it's a blessing, that we've gotten to this point with it. So
Or the Chicago Tribe event. That was the first time I've ever seen breakdancing in person. Like I've
Like-
seen it on TV and like
yeah, like real
in
break.
the footage. This is
And
like
not the
this is like
Olympics.
yep.
Yeah.
This is like genuine real breaking, and it's not like on a stage. It's like this is like a foot in front of me. Like
hmm
it was so cool to see.
Yeah.
So cool.
hmm
Did it compare to the Olympics?
It was better.
Now that they
Of course, it
banned it
was,
from that, whoever put that crap together, they should have called us. They should have called us.
yes,
Seriously, they
That's
should have called up Cross One and
Yeah.
let him run that.
Let's get it from the beginning.
the one question that I also wanted to ask you guys, how is this doc, even or has it changed your perspective on filmmaking and especially when, doing documentary style or, documentation of a culture, filmmaking, has this changed your approach or how is it like, helped you grow in your
Mhm.
craft?
I would definitely starting over. I would do a few things differently. Mainly is just staying more organized and on top of things because when you're gaining so much information so quickly, it's very easy to become disorganized really fast. So there had been a couple of days where Tyler and I realized, oh my gosh, we are so incredibly disorganized. We need to sort everything. And we spend like 2 or 3 days just sorting stuff. So just having like a system like that off of the rip. I think I would probably figure out funding first before we start filming. That's another thing I would do because that's been one of our biggest hurdles. What about you, Tyler?
I would say, I mean, to that point, sometimes you just got to do it though too. It's like that fine line between like it's trying to just start it, but also if you don't have the funding, it makes it difficult. So it's always a fine line. But I think like filmmaking wise, I think what makes this documentary unique about Scribble Jam is that we're telling a story of an event that was in the past. It's already happened. So we're doing a lot of interviews with people and that sort of thing. And we're doing our best to incorporate like live events that are happening, like that we were just talked about, and stuff happening like right now, current day. And we do have a lot of that in the film. But I think that
that'd be cool.
yeah. But I think that like it has made me realize like the importance of like branching out from not just doing the interviews, but like incorporating a bunch of different styles of filmmaking into the doc. So like the first year we were kind of just doing interviews and then we kept progressing and we're like, oh, it's going to be more interesting if we splice some of this in there. So yeah, I mean it's really I think expanded.
Do we want to talk about what Coney's doing for us? Coney Rock?
Yeah. Coney Rock, he's a Chicago Tribe b-boy who's in the documentary and went to like every Scribble, I think. But he's doing animation for us, like this really cool like hip hop style, like gritty animation. So we're gonna have like some scenes of footage that like doesn't exist. That we don't want to have a talking interview. We're gonna have this cool like animation coming in and telling the story for us, kind of. So yeah, we're just trying to find as many ways as possible to like just make this like feel like alive and like vibrant and just keeping the energy up.
Man, that'll be dope too, as far as like how you're going to be switching mediums, and but in a way, what you're doing also, you're trying to incorporate the different elements of hip hop into the film itself, right? Because I know he's going to bring an authentic style of animation and everything to it to really get it.
His transitions from like the real life side off there, but his transitions from like the real life footage to the animation is just mind blowing. I mean, he's so talented. So
it blew me away. We recently just got 3 of the like rough drafts storyboards of it, and just the storyboards alone, I was blown away. I cannot wait to see the rest of it. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to show people.
Yeah.
Dope, man. So look, I've got the GoFundMe link in the chat, and then of course it's scrolling across the bottom of the page. I want to have an opportunity to share the actual site as well, so everybody can see what it is, and then give you gentlemen an opportunity to speak to it. So this is the GoFundMe site, y'all. The goal is currently $40,000, and you have $5,548 raised so far with 105 donations. Salute to all 105 people that have already donated. Personally, I thank you, because I want to see this to its fruition, and of course help these gentlemen get this to the end of the goal, man, because this is something that needs to happen. So tell us about what we've seen, the proof of concept, right? Is there anything else that you want to add to this?
Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Well, I mean, like in terms of the funding, I mean,
what it's going for, what you need,
So, I mean, a lot of it is, we're paying. The music is kind of the biggest thing, I would say.
Licensing the music.
Because we're very passionate about like we want to use the real songs and the real artists who went to Scribble. Like we don't want to have to compromise and use some knockoff one from some free website. It kind of sounds like it. It's horrible. Like, especially for something like this,
we can relate to that with our podcast. We can relate to music licensing.
So that's and then when you get into the world of film too, it's just a whole other realm
different than like the realm of hip hop, because sampling becomes a problem. Like, where did that sample come from? Do we have the rights to the sample? Do we have the rights to the recording of the sample as well as the master? Like,
that's interesting in itself. Let me ask you about that then. So, are
you
saying
the performance of it by someone?
Well, the question is that I have here that that's throwing me for a loop. So are you saying that just because, so you say, for instance, you get the rights to clear a song, and that song has a sample in it. So by getting the rights cleared just to the song, that had the sample in it, but they paid for the sample or cleared it, we hope or assume, right? It doesn't automatically cover you, the filmmaker.
No. Unfortunately not. Yeah, it's different. Because even if the artist got it cleared, we still have to get it cleared by the original sample. I mean, there's nitty gritty to it and like fine details, and it's a whole nother world, and that's why it ends up costing so much money.
That's like specifically like for streaming too and stuff, because we want to have this streaming for people to watch, at some point. That's the goal. And it just becomes a whole nother, like, you're trying to get it on Netflix, and they're just so like nitpicky about every little sound. It all has to be cleared. So yeah, that's definitely the biggest expense, and I think it means a lot to use the real stuff. You know, like
Mhm.
I don't want to have to compromise on
We
that,
have to.
for
Yeah,
sure.
we have to.
Yeah.
It's
hmm Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much part of the culture, and also just the
Yep, because they
actual importance of the
got the
actual
AI
scenes.
robots out there checking now.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
You
and
can't
then
get away with that. Yeah.
yeah. Then the other stuff on there, the animation takes, we talked about Coney, that takes a lot and a lot of time, I mean, he has been like phenomenal with how much work
hmm
he's been putting into it, but that's like, frame by frame, like it's a lot.
hmm
So, and it adds a whole new element to the film that just makes it like,
hmm
uh, entirely, entirely different,
hmm
in a great way. And then, color grading it, making it look just absolutely perfect for everyone.
hmm And
Uh,
then
the sound,
sound production. Yeah.
very important. Yeah, so it all, it's all just going towards making this the best possible thing that it can be for everyone, because it deserves to be that. This is an
hmm
important thing, and we don't want to
Yeah.
have to cut corners to like not make it what it should be.
hmm And I really want to stress, none of this GoFundMe money is going to anyone. It's all going directly into the film.
Production. Yeah.
Directly into the film. We have not seen a dime, and honestly, we might never see a dime off of this, and we're okay with that. This we love the event. We've fallen in love with hip hop, and this is a story that people need to hear about. So if we don't make any money, whatever. It's been the best experience of my life by far.
For the
Agreed.
love of hip hop.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
Absolutely, and that's the reason why I wanted you guys give an opportunity to clarify that part specifically, because sometimes people are skeptical about where they're putting their money and what it's putting towards, because there's a lot of GoFundMe's out there that are scams and everything like that, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
you guys are coming on here and you're legitimate and you already have proof. I mean, it's what if you guys were scammers, there's no way in hell that you actually would have made it on here, because Fresh and everybody would have been like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the donations mean so much. If there's anyone watching who's donated, I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, it means a lot, and it all goes
It's
towards making this great. So
mhm.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, I remember we talked about the Kansas City trip briefly. Like that was before we had a GoFundMe or anything.
That
So
was out of
Tyler and I, we scraped together. I was like, oh, I got $300, and Tyler's like, oh, I also have $300, and then we got like the worst Airbnb in Kansas City for like 8 people, and we just crammed in there and took one car, and it was
Yeah.
yeah.
Yo, man. So also, like, just to give people a heads up as far as what's in it for them, right? So all the money that is donated will be exclusively for the production and distribution of the documentary. This includes travel, lodging, advertising, etc. Any donation is appreciated. You'll be a part of spreading the story of Scribble Jam to a wide audience and giving it the recognition that we all know it deserves. In addition, that the filmmakers are offering the following donation tiers. People who donate 50 or more will receive their name in the credits. Donators of 10 or more before 5/26/2025, I guess that was already bad, will receive their names and credits as well. So you already lost that. So guess what, man? $50, as you see what they're asking for, right? What they need. This is what they need, and it's not like y'all are balling out. We all know, and we talk about music licensing and copyright and all of this stuff. It comes up on every single conversation that we have, almost every single damn episode. But we all know the get down. We know it costs money to do this thing, and music licensing is the biggest hurdle. So they are being very, 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 very mindful with the money that you are putting into this. And I am personally absolutely asking you to please get behind this and support and spread the news about this, because if you are out there and you want to know what it was like to be there and talk to the people that were actually there, the people that started it, created it, and helped make it live and breathe, and even the people that were, there experiencing it and appreciating it, man. This is something that needs to be done. If you guys are watching this, this is an extremely important part of hip hop history. And Mr. Marshall Mathers, come on, bro.
Tap in.
Come on, bro. So like all I'm gonna say, Mr. Marshall Mathers, I'm not trying to make you feel any type of way, but check this out, man. I know, you guys, Mr. Marshall Mathers, that's a cup of coffee for you and your homeboys on a vacation. So that's nothing but a drop in the bucket to say fuck it and make it happen. So please, anybody, donate $50 to get your names in the credit that Mr. Marshall Mathers is going to financially back and push forward. I'm putting it out there. I'm just putting you.
Putting it in the air.
Positive affirmations.
And I'm not even asking you to join B-Boys Underground for an interview because you should. But.
Yes, sir.
The only reason, getting the rest of this. But anyway, look. All of you guys out there can absolutely help support anything, any amount will absolutely help and be appreciated. And if you don't have the means, please just spread it out. And all you hip hop heads, spread it out, put it out in the communities, post it to Discord, post it to Reddit.
All my peoples in YouTube, man, donate, get your name in the credits. Let's go. Come on. Y'all want to be part of this?
Look, for less than a quarter ounce of weed, you can get your name in the credits.
Word.
You know what I mean? So,
Midget Mike, we talking to you.
Exactly, Mr. Midget Mike.
Juicy Jules, we talking to you. You said you went to Scribble Jam.
He said he saw Glue perform at Scribble Jam.
Juicy Jules also said this right here. 05 and 07 were the years she went.
Gotcha.
And she's our friend. She's out in Minnesota.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there anything that you have you talked to people that were going? Was there anything that a funny story or an interesting story that kind of even maybe moved you, by talking to some of these people, about how much it meant to them? Was there any stories that really touched you?
I mean, all of them. Genuinely, all of them have been so either interesting, funny, or genuinely moving. We've heard people talk about people getting married because of Scribble Jam. We've heard, people talk about how hip hop saved their life. It brought them out of a depression. And just the friendship and the genuine band of misfits they got to be themselves there at Scribble Jam. And it wasn't like other events where there was corporate influence. It was a real hip hop event put on by hip hop heads, and they knew what they wanted, and it was exactly that. So there were, it was just a genuine, real event. And I think it's hard to pinpoint one specific story, but I don't know. Tyler, do you have any?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to add.
Yeah.
You pretty much hit it perfect. But yeah, I mean, just you can really feel that everyone we've interviewed, everyone that we've met through this, it's not, hip hop is not just music. It is a way of life, and it means so much. And you can feel that in every interview. So, yeah, I mean, it's been really inspiring for me personally.
And as for the funny stories, we do have a good amount of funny stories in the documentary.
We do,
so
yeah.
When it comes out, I don't want to spoil any of them, but when they come out, you'll know what they are.
It's definitely a lifestyle for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'll let you know. Basically, through my health battles and journey that I've talked about on the podcast ad nauseum, because people have talked about it. But yeah, kidney cancer. I've died twice. I've recently lost over 225 pounds, and I've had like 15 surgeries and have at least 6 more to go. Just now found out about that. But like the thing is that through all of this all started really, my health started really declining in around 2012, and 2014 it was the first time that I passed away and was able to come back. You know what I mean? Like, cause they brought me back in ICU, and that I rode the lightning on that one. And having that shift, and I had just had my kids, and going through the battles that was 11 years this journey, and in 2020 when I was at the worst and didn't know if I was going to even survive, and didn't even think I wanted to survive, right? And I had to really find, because I have a wife and 2 children that, are my why, right? And I just needed to figure out a way to start fighting again, and how I was going to fight, and what I needed to tap into to fight. And, as you are at that age and you're looking at, death and or serious rock bottom shit, hip hop, and it was music. It's always been my love of music, and started collecting records at 3 years old, and had a record player at 3 years old, and wanted to be a DJ always through then, all of that stuff. And that was what I tapped into. And I remember how it was is remembering the Scribble Jams, remembering, the times that I DJ'd with my mentor, and all of the things that I did, and doing sound, and then meeting Fresh, and Fresh be like, come on, man, like, come be a part of the crew, and started helping them with the Third Finger record pool. And then, getting invited to become and be a part of B-Boys Underground at the show, and be down at the show every night, and everything. And having those memories were what got me to the point where, you know what, I'm going to start DJing with the equipment that I have. I'm just going to figure out. And I literally have my first pair of 1200s that were busted as fuck, and they still janky as fuck, but I had them rewired. But before I had the money to rewire them, with the technology of Phase and Serato, I was just able to use them because they still keep time. And I was like, all right, I'm sitting in a stool. I'm like 450 pounds, right? And I can't even stand. I'm hunched over these things trying to learn how to DJ again, learn Serato. And I said, fuck it, I'm going to start streaming it on Twitch, and you're going to watch me grow. And this is what happened. And this is where we're at, because I reached out to Fresh after I have another podcast with my homie MaddWayz and the rest of the homies, the Usual Suspect Sesh. And that's what, from DJing, I wanted to develop a crew and a camaraderie and a community online, and through a group of individuals that I experienced when I was with Fresh and in the community and around the other DJs, and that environment and that feeling and that movement, because we were pushing towards something. And it was also, we were all trying to continue to elevate each other and continue to grow as a team. And that is how Fresh and I, bumped into each other on Facebook over a post on Scribble Jam, because I made a comment saying that's me in the background, because it was that classic battle where you see Eminem outside, and I'm right there in the background, dead center, big white kid with the boonie hat on, right? And that whole thing was like how someone was like, that ain't you, and Fresh was like, Ghost? I was like, what's up? And then we exchanged numbers, and I was like, yo, man, let's do this. And, you know, I've wanted to do B-Boys Underground and bring it back in a podcast format. But, you know, I can't do B-Boys Underground without G Fresh. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Dibbs is too busy. You know, we've got him once on the show, but that man's busy because he's got his own empire to run. And much respect to Dibbs because I got nothing but respect for everything that he's done and did because he is very gifted and talented and worth, you know, the accolades. And, you know, he's a part of this real hip hop shit too. So, but that is overall like how much this shit means to me and how much it changed my life and how much it is still a part of my life, and it's a part of my children's life, it's a part of my wife's life, and anybody that knows me knows who I am as far as I'm just me. I'm just me now. It's like if you don't like me, okay. That's okay too, right? But I'm gonna be me and I'm gonna be genuine and I'm gonna try to put forth something that's pure and honest, just like what you guys are trying to do. It there's no, you know, money being made like shit. You know, I got almost. If we round up, I'm at $1 million in medical bills alone right now. So, but we just if we round up, but I'm just saying like this shit right here is what has kept me sane and my mental health journey and everything like that because all of that health problems has an impact on your mind, man. You know what I mean? And trying to keep your shit together through it to be strong for the people that you know that are depending on you, right? And you don't want to not be a part of their lives. So continuing to fight and where I found my fight and I tapped into it was through hip hop and the love of hip hop, and especially the memories that I got specifically from Scribble Jam and that environment and that time period in my life.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, one of the first things that you asked us was like, what's our why for doing it? And that's, I mean, you can't say it any better than that. You know, like hearing those personal stories, like it matters. It matters a lot. So like it makes me that much more motivated to just make this the best thing we possibly can. So yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for you know, doing this. And you know, anytime you guys want to tap back in and you know, give us any updates, you guys are always more than welcome. Anything that we can do to help, anything that I personally can do to help. I know you guys are the proficial ones. You know, I'm just learning to do this shit on my own, and I'm winging it and doing the best I can with what I got. You know what I mean? And we're putting the airplane together while we got this bitch flying at 30,000 feet. So
that's what everyone's doing. That's how we made this film. Yeah.
So you guys got anything that you'd like to, you know, say to the folks out there before we wrap this up, man?
I mean, just stay on the lookout. We're working every single day on getting this thing finished and making it the best it can possibly be. So, you know, we're going to keep dropping updates as they come. And I mean, honestly, like I cannot wait for everyone to see it. I'm very happy with where it's at right now. I think it does the story justice. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait for it to be released and for everyone to be able to watch it. So
yeah,
thanks to everyone who's supported.
Yeah, the amount of support we're getting is it's overwhelming. I've never had anything like this in my entire life. I remember when we posted the proof of concept, my phone just started going off. I was like, oh wow, people want this, and it really means a lot hearing all the nice comments. You know, it's you know, we're almost 4 years deep into this project, and it's been mentally taxing at times. So to see the support and the nice comments and to hear how people are excited about it, it means a lot. It means a lot to not just me and Tyler, but everyone on the crew.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who have worked on this with us. So yeah, it's not just us; it's a lot of people who have put a lot of time into this. So yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And salute to you, gentlemen, for doing this, and salute to everybody that's working on this, and salute to all of the fine folks that have provided interviews and added any type of, source material, information, and connections, networking, everything that's involved with making all of this stuff magically happen and come together. Salute to all of you all. And salute to everybody that's tuned in live, and salute to everybody that is watching this on the replay. We do B-Boys Underground weekly. Yes, weekly. Every single Wednesday is B-Boys Wednesday, right? We start normally at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. to be more Pacific, 1 a.m. GMT, wherever you are around the globe. And then we stream on twitch.tv at GhostBoogie66, B-Boys Underground on YouTube.com, and B-Boys Underground on Facebook. And yeah, we have special episodes. You can go to our YouTube page if you want to watch any of our previous episodes. We're over 100 of them, and we've got iconic people that we've interviewed. Iconic.
We had a dope pop up last night.
A dope pop up of a world premiere, and we had a member of Dilated Peoples. There's just so many people that we've got and have coming up, scheduled for the show. I mean, Be Real's going to be coming on the show here soon. I mean, there's all types of stuff. So, listen, much love to you guys. Hit that like, follow, subscribe, but share this out. Share out this link, GoFundMe, please. Just share it out on your socials. It's real easy. Just share it out. You can click a share button when you go to the GoFundMe. If you can't hit the donate button, hit the share button that's right above it. It's free. For real. Please. With that being said, do you gentlemen have any shout outs?
I mean, there's so many people who have helped us along with it. Our whole crew, everyone that we've interviewed and filmed in this. I mean, there's so many people have helped out.
Gibbs, Nick.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
everyone.
Once you start naming people, it's impossible to stop, but it's like, and thank you guys for having us, really. I mean, it means a lot to be able to share this stuff, and it's really fun to be able to talk about it. So,
and what I want to do right now is before we get up out of here, I want to share the screen and share basically give an opportunity to give the shine to everyone that has donated. So Andy Buenta, thank you. Mike Redmond, thank you. El Dorado, thank you. Deanna Talent, thank you. Seth Volk, thank you. Josh Throndenson, I butcher names, right? $500. Shout out to you, fam. DJ, RIP DJ Prism. But shout out to you, Grant Allen, Mike Fishman, Anonymous, Chris Savage, Walter Hart, Sierra Lennon, Andrew Morin, Michael Lum, Christian Reinsch. I'm going to fuck everybody's name up. My bad, y'all. David Ads, Sean Westron, Lucky McKenna, Stephen Strom, Tim Zick, Jacob Schneider, Lisa May Rother, Aaron Hurl, Tony Schrum, Ryan Miller, Sean McPherson, Anonymous, Rob Schmall, Edward Romero, Chase Kingsley, Alexander Schutt, Amanda Taylor, Jordan Glickson, Jim Guthrie, Anna Master Rocco, Megan Kelly, Courtney Kelly, Joseph C. Montgomery, Lindsay Whitaker, Walter Hart, Laura James Hood, Eric T. Urbis, Justin Smith, Aftab Val, my bad, NS, Denny Holsteig, Anonymous, Brad Bunn, Drew Christman, John Hoffman, Jonathan Waitman, Carl Mueller. We're giving you all your credits. We're giving you your flowers. Michelle Brightberg. These people have donated a year ago, man. Paul Beeler, Brooke Schmoll, Jason Rawls, Spencer Smythe, Paul Kiplick, George Jorgensen, Chris Glass, Reno Christoph, Mark Hood, Matt Lambert, Brad and Becky Combs, Jennifer Summer, William Anderson, William Creemans, Dylan, the top 5 greatest MCs of all time, Ted Kaczynski, I hope the Unabomber. Shout out to you. Romelia Desanos. I'm about to just start clowning. Matt Herm, Ryan Vale, everybody that's on here, man. I'm running out of gas. I got cottonmouth.
You didn't see it was 105 at the top, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see it was 105 at the top, but I thought I would have got through it faster. That's a lot of damn people. But shout out to Zoe Desmond for being the very first donor as well.
Our assistant director right there.
Yeah.
Boom.
There it is.
Mad love to each and every single one of y'all that donated and did this. We are B-Boys Underground. Tune in. Much love. Y'all split that, y'all.